Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Some people do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. You are about to hear my opinion. Do your own research.
Hey everyone, we're back with a major update. These strange shipping containers are still here, and everyone keeps saying to do recon at night. So here we are in the dead of night, showing you what's really going down with the shipping containers in my community. As you can see, this is like a mobile command center as they get everything ready for what's coming. This is insane. They've been here for months. Everyone has been doubting me, saying, "Oh, these containers are normal." They're not normal. Look, they got trucks coming in here. They work at night. They're heavily guarded. It's only going to be a few more seconds before I'm asked to leave. And the kind of supplies that these things are bringing in is no joke. We're talking alligator Alcatraz. We're talking the protest. We're talking about false flag. For everyone down the activity at night, they're coming in here and they're working. They are guarded right out in my town.
It's Container Guy talking about more containers. I just noticed that he posted something recently about containers. There. Nothing's happening. And he said, oh, it's so heavily guarded, and any second now I could be asked to leave, and there was a truck there running, which means there was probably somebody there that should have told him, hey, you go away. But plus, he lives by a military base. He's shown that many times on his channel, so I don't think there's anything going on. I think he's just making something out of nothing. I mean, he's doing a pretty good job making something out of nothing. I mean, we're paying attention to it, right?
You've got these reports. John Solomon earlier this week has indicated that there is a grand conspiracy investigation going on in the Federal Bureau of Investigation right now. A grand conspiracy investigation. This goes all the way back to 2016 and the Hillary Clinton operation to claim that President Trump was colluding with Russia. The entire Obama administration, of course, got in on the act. And by now, you know most of the players and most of the chapters of this disgusting saga that we've all had to live through and that President Trump was the target of. Now the FBI thinks that they may be able to build a legal case to go after all of it. John Solomon's been saying this week that will require the President of the United States to declassify two gigantic tranches of information that are in the possession of the government right now. And he said that he believes the president is inclined to do it. They believe that Jack Smith raid on Mar-a-Lago that happened in Florida is a part of the grand conspiracy. And if that's the case, they can impanel a grand jury in Florida, and the statute of limitations concerns that they have about going back to 2016, they're erased. The way a conspiracy works is the statute of limitations begins running from the last overt act of the conspiracy. And if the raid in Florida is considered that, well, we're still within the statute of limitations, baby, and we can go back a long time to go after these people.
Oh man, this is going to be good. I can't wait to find out what comes of this, because the whole Russia thing was a hoax. And now they're saying that the whole Epstein thing was a hoax, which is really confusing to me because I don't follow it very closely. They're saying that the Democrats created this hoax so that the Republicans would be like, we're going to release the files. And all the Democrats are like, release the files. Oh, I get it. Okay, it just made sense in my brain. They're like, here's this thing that's happening. Let's see if they do something about it. And then they do nothing about it. And then we can be like, hey, what are you hiding? Something like that, right? Yeah.
Well, good morning, you fabulous sons of bitches. Let's talk about Maureen Comey. Miss Maureen's quite the interesting person. Yesterday, she was fired by the Justice Department. What is the significance of Maureen Comey? Well, let's see. Her daddy is James Comey. That's right. Former director of the FBI. Much hated by the right, much loved by the left. A man surrounded in controversy. And his daughter's significance, Miss Maureen, is that she was the prosecutor in both the Epstein case and the Diddy case. Now, neither one of those went exactly the way we thought they were gonna, did they? And isn't it interesting that amidst all this hullabaloo about the Epstein files and why there are no prosecutions of people who had been to that island, and why everything's under seal, federal seal, she gets fired. I'm curious.
Why do they keep using the same person as the prosecutor for these types of cases? Well, I mean, obviously they're not anymore because they let her ass go, but it seems like her prosecutorial skills are not skilling so well from what I've heard, because I didn't follow it too closely. There was a lot of evidence, a lot of witness testimonials, and people who actually were affected by Diddy. Not only that, but the FBI put together their case for months before they went and picked him up. And it just was like, okay, you're good to go. So yeah, I don't think that has to do with good defense. That's probably got something to do with bad prosecution. What the actual frick, man?
Here's the American history lesson they never taught you in school. In 1871, Congress passed something called the Organic Act. Sounds boring, right? Wrong. That act may have fundamentally changed the United States from a sovereign nation into a corporation. Before 1871, America was the United States for America, a constitutional republic. But after 1871, it legally became the United States of America, a corporation owned by foreign interests, primarily the bankers in London. This isn't conspiracy. Go read the act. It created a municipal government for D.C., turning the capital into a separate legal entity, not part of the 50 states. That's why D.C. has its own flag, its own laws, its own police force. And guess what? That flag, 3 stars and bars, represents the trinity of global control: the Vatican, the City of London, and Washington, D.C. These aren't cities, they're city-states, separate from the countries they appear to belong to. The Vatican rules religion. The City of London rules finance. D.C. rules military. This trinity doesn't serve the Constitution, it uses it. And you and I, we're treated like collateral. Ever wonder why your birth certificate has a number? Or why your name is in all caps on legal documents? Because they treat you like a corporate asset, not a living soul. America was never destroyed from without. It was hijacked from within. And until we wake up and reclaim our republic, we'll keep living in a cage they convinced us was freedom. This isn't about politics, it's about truth. And the truth sets you free.
So I got lost when he said United States for America, and I started doing the clackety-clackety. It's not really clackety-clackety, it's the thummity-thummity and in the Google machines, and I find nothing, because the Declaration of Independence says the United States of America. I couldn't find anything saying for America anywhere. But as far as us being used for our money in this capitalist society, yeah, that's definitely happening, and I like the whole Trinity thing that he pointed out there, because we've talked about that before, and that is something crazy, isn't it?
This video is for entertainment purposes only. So, you've been abducted, you're on a table, there's a mind meld that goes on, you're terrified, you're absolutely scared out of your mind, and then there's the sexual component to it. And I realize this is kind of R-rated stuff, but it's true. In our film, we interviewed 4 people, 2 men, 2 women, all who have been abducted numerous times. Folks, it's unspeakable what is going on, but here's the deal. Everything points back to the Genesis 3:15 narrative, or the Daniel 2:43 prophetic narrative. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. Whose seed are we talking about? This was written thousands of years ago, and yet we see it happening right now in modernity. You haven't seen our film on abductions? It's number 4 in the UFO film series. You can rent it for $4.99. I don't have time to get into the whole thing. We've done the homework. It'll blow your mind. LAMarzulli.com. I am L.A. Marzulli.
Dude had me hook, line, and sinker when he started talking about aliens, and then he pulled the old switcheroo and turned it into a religious commercial. And I almost deleted it, but it got my gears going, because there's things that we've talked about that I have learned that I am pretty proud of, and now you gotta hear me explain what I realized. So what I think is an alien clearly is a creature from another planet who's traveled thousands and thousands or more of light years to be here to tinker with us for why I don't know. But a lot of people do believe that what I consider to be an alien is actually a demon, and demons are from the hell place, ruled by Satan himself, who is what? A fallen angel. So wouldn't the rest of the demons also be fallen angels? I'm just doing a little bit of rationale that could possibly be wrong, but that's what I think, right? They're fallen angels as well. So what happens when the fallen angels plant their seed in the peoples? They create the Nephilim. That's pretty much it. There's nothing spectacular about that story, unfortunately. I thought I had something there, but that's it.
Dog, what do you mean Area 51 is on fire? Up. So that is Area 51, even though the article would like to say near Area 51. The entire area is owned by Area 51. That is a fire that supposedly broke out on the 4th of July by a lightning strike. Started with a small area of acreage. Now it's over 35,000 acres. And nobody said nothing. We're just now finding out about it because of the plumage of fucking smoke is engulfing other areas. What are y'all doing? My thing is, that place is so highly guarded that if you even breathe near Nellis Air Force Base, you're getting fucking stopped, frisked, arrested, and turned the fuck around. However, all those guards up there in the Air Force didn't notice that there was a fire near the location that they're working. You didn't notice a fire? From the 4th of July, it's now the 17th. What are y'all trying to do? What are y'all getting rid of? First, it was the Grand Canyon. And it's days and days and days before anybody acts to even try to put out these. What are y'all doing? Every day it's something new. So I don't know what the government is trying to cover up, hide.
What? It's the 18th now, and I'm just hearing about this. I'm sure y'all have, because you're not as late to everything as I am. I'm always late to everything. But that's fantastic. It's making my conspiracy brain do crazy things. Are they hiding something? What about the people that have to go in there to try to put the fire out? Are they trying to mitigate it from the ground? Do they need to have like non-disclosure agreements signed? Because what if they find something, like a secret entrance or something that they're not supposed to find? Are they trying to destroy something and it only can be destroyed by fire? Why is it burning for so friggin' long? Okay, there are a lot of things going on in my brain. Questions. I have so many questions.
So I don't know if you guys saw, but Trump dropped an Epstein tweet. It says, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony, subject to court approval. This scam, perpetuated by the Democrats, should end right now. And Pam Bondi says, President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. How much do you want to bet there's a lot of Democrats pooping bricks right now? I know we don't want to get our hopes up. I know that it could end up being another dud. But I kind of feel like this is what we were expecting from President Trump. Make everybody think that this was going to go away, get the Democrats to demand transparency, and then be like, okay, I'm just doing what you guys asked for. Guess we'll see.
Didn't I just say something like that earlier? I feel like I said something like that earlier. Like they're like, hey, here's this huge thing, and everyone's on board with, oh my God, it's such a huge thing. And then they're like, there's no thing. Or is there a thing? Are they going to hide more things? I don't know. We have to find out.
We are back at the beach again in the Gulf of America, and we have a major update this morning in this Trump and Epstein dilemma. Donald Trump posted around 9 o'clock last night that he has given Attorney General Pam Bondi permission to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimonials subject to court approval. To which Pam Bondi responded, "We are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal these grand jury transcripts." But this post was perhaps the most encouraging, and this was from Representative Anna Paula Luna from Florida. And she said, while others were busy stabbing President Trump in the back, we were working overtime behind the scenes in the Oval Office. This picture was taken yesterday, and she says that this is 4D chess and not checkers. Welcome to the big leagues. Enjoy phase 3. And she confirms that Pam Bondi is unsealing the grand jury testimony tomorrow and that there is much more to come. This is the most transparent administration in U.S. history. And I have to say, after the way that Trump has been talking this week, this is very, very encouraging news to hear. So we will see what happens today. Who knows? Maybe time will tell. Maybe he will continue this legacy of being the most transparent president in history. But considering Pam Bondi's reputation right now, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that we're going to get these documents? Do you think we're not going to get the documents? How are you feeling?
I feel like I didn't know I had 2 clips of that in a row, right after the other. And yeah, so that's happening. I thought maybe I was late again, so I had to do some searching real quick to make sure they haven't been released, but they have not been released yet. Unless, of course, you're watching this after they have been released, and then they have been released. And we're going to talk about it as soon as I get some information, just because it seems like a really interesting conspiracy. Like, why would they create this thing, this huge hoax? And why would it be hidden if it's being hidden by the current administration? And what's going on? Is it nothing? Are we going to be led to believe that it's nothing? Is something big going to happen to make us all pay attention to something else while they quietly tell us, hey, nothing happened? And then we're just like, let's look at this instead. Oh, I feel like it might be a diversion tactic. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, consider subscribing.
Chris Kyle is still alive, and he's been working undercover for decades with a new identity in Mexico. Leaked reports suggest his 2013 death was staged by the U.S. government to protect national secrets. Now, conspiracy theorists claim he never left the battlefield. He just disappeared from public view. Chris Kyle, known as the American Sniper, was a highly decorated Navy SEAL with a legendary status in the military. He was supposedly shot on February 2nd, 2013 by a fellow veteran, but now a wave of leaked images and conspiracy-laced reports suggest the official story might have been a cover-up. They claim the house you're seeing right now is where Chris Kyle is currently living, under full U.S. government protection. Sources claim Kyle was never meant to retire. He knew too much, not just about U.S. operations overseas, but about covert programs that were never meant to see daylight, and letting him go public was a risk the government wasn't willing to take. The motive was to pull Kyle into deeper black ops work. Reports suggest he's now operating under a new identity, working as an undercover asset embedded in Mexican intelligence networks, with connections to political interference operations.
Now, I personally believe that there are a lot of people in this situation, like super smart people that were in the know with the know things that we're not allowed to know, and they like mysteriously disappeared. They had their bucket kicked, or they kicked their own bucket, but their buckets are fully intact and unkicked, and they're like underground somewhere doing some super secret stuff with these super secret organizations like espionage or, you know, reverse engineering alien tech or whatever they're doing. Like these folks that like create these fantastic, you know, inventions, and they get black shelved, but the individuals, there's a bucket situation going on, but they're down there underground in the super secret organizations with their bucket fully intact doing awesome stuff. I know, I sound batshit crazy, but I'm okay with it.
2 years ago, in September 2023, I posted a video that went viral and then was quickly muted on social media. Today, I will tell you what that video was about, and you'll understand why it was muted. 24 years ago, Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense in the United States, gave a press conference. He talked about transactions worth $2.3 trillion that have gone missing.
Our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
The very next day, a forensic audit team with the support of accountants were investigating the missing $2.3 trillion. Before the money tracing started, a plane hit the tower the accountants were in, and it killed them all. That day was September 11th.
As we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know.
Now this could be classified as a conspiracy theory, but damn, what a coincidence.
Personally, I have a real difficult time committing to saying that I think that it was an inside job. I'm not 100% certain, but there is a lot of evidence that is just like big red flag, right? Big red flag. And then you look at the government's track record for false flags and attempted false flags. And we've talked about many of them on this channel before, and you kind of just go, maybe? But it's hard to commit to it, really. It's a difficult topic.
So apparently one of the biggest secrets the government's ever had, according to Lieutenant Colonel Greg Renrich, who worked in deep underground military bases, is that he had to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to not use the word Jesus Christ while he was down here, because he saw 10 to 15 to 20 foot tall Nephilim down there. Nephilim, whatever you want to call them. And they said that if you say Jesus Christ around them, they will basically spontaneously combust. That's what he was reporting to another podcast. Now, do you believe this? Because there was another story report that there was a book that Bob Lazar saw that reported that this book was the most important finding that they ever had. And this book basically said that the aliens made up this story, made up religion. So if they made up religion, how could Jesus' name be spontaneously combusting these people and him having to sign an NDA against them? Other people state that when they invoke the name Jesus Christ, that it stops alien abductions in their tracks. So what's the truth? It seems like something that a lot of whistleblowers are saying. So what do you think?
Oh, that's super cool. It goes along with the story that we talked about earlier, where I thought I had something fantastic and I actually didn't. But they are actually the Nephilim, which are the spawn of these fallen angels and humans. But in this case, they're of demons, because people believe that aliens are demons. And when you say Jesus Christ, they go... That's why a lot of people, I've heard in the comments a lot, they're like, if you're ever having an alien issue again, just say Jesus Christ and then they'll go away, because it makes them go away. Now, what happens if you come across a Nephilim that is not a demon human spawn? Does Jesus Christ do anything to them? Probably not, because they're the good guys, right?
Tartaria's flag as depicted on the 1865 American Encyclopedia, Flags of All Nations section. Here it is again on Bowell's universal display of the naval flags of all nations in the world from 1783. Here it is a third time as drawn by Dutchman Karel Allard after his 17th century voyage to the city of Kazan. Here it is a fourth time on the Proclamation of Maritime Benefits and Regulations for placing the flag on the stern and the nose, approved in Kiev 1709.
Now, if Tartaria never existed, why is all those stuff there?
Here are 3 times the government lied and later admitted it. Number 1. The U.S. military sprayed chemicals over American cities during the Cold War to test how a biological attack might spread. They didn't tell the public until decades later. Number 2. The FBI created a fake university just to lure foreign students and arrest them for visa violations. Yes, it was called the University of Farmington. Number 3. For years, the CIA denied being involved in coups. Then it declassified documents proving it helped overthrow Iran's government in 1953.
See? Just more stuff that the government does that adds to their track record of doing shady stuff.
Buddy, what if I told you there are fully functional biodomes on the ocean floor where entire human societies are being raised without any knowledge of the outside world? This isn't sci-fi. It's a classified government experiment that's been running for decades. These domes were set up by a coalition of deep state agencies and private entities looking to create a completely controlled environment, right? No external influences, no history, no outside interference. The people inside are born into a fabricated reality where everything from their culture to their technology is tightly regulated. They have artificial skies, controlled weather, okay, and a fake history designed to keep them in line. Look, I mean, it's dark, okay, because Lord knows what they're really doing with a lot of these folks. I mean, you could only imagine, by this point, there are hundreds of these separate biodomes with all of these people just living in a completely derivative state of reality. Look, for the sake of my well-being, I'm going to go ahead and say this is a joke for entertainment only, right? Just praying they don't come for me.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that was actually a joke, but I frickin' love it. That is freaking incredible. I love the thought of that because we're not allowed to know what's in the ocean. There's crap in the ocean. Is there aliens in the ocean? We don't know. Are they telling us that there's aliens in the ocean, but they're actually got these little biodome things that are run by governments to like do things to people, put them in like an alternate reality, not even an alternate reality. It is their reality, but they're just creating this reality for them, like a Matrix type thing. Oh my God. But these little biodomes under the water, which makes me think of that movie Biodome. Have you seen that movie Biodome? It put Safety Dance back on the map. I love that song. Anyway, that's absolutely fantastic. I freaking love it. I've never heard of that before, and it's incredible, and it's making my brain do like spinny things. That's awesome. I love it. Did I say I love it? Because I freaking love it.
Mark Hoppus, Blink 182's bass player, told our government how to catch us.
Heard this. They said it in the documentary. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're touring. They're in a combat zone, but they're in a hangar and they're playing music and just part of the support the troops type stuff. Yeah. And they do this concert, and then he's talking to higher ups, and he's like, "I think I know how you can catch him." They laugh at him. He's like, "No, I'm serious. Like, I've been thinking about this." They're like, "All right, give me your pitch. How are we going to find this guy?" He's like, "Well, he broadcasts pretty frequently." And he was like, "And you guys are running surveillance and you don't know where he is, but he's in a region where you can probably fly over." He was like, "Why don't you broadcast specific frequencies per region, which is undetectable to human ear?" And he was like, "And when he does a broadcast, he'll have no idea that there's basically a dog whistle flying around in each area." And he's like, "You can see based on the strength of each thing, you'll be able to triangulate where he was."
Interesting.
4 months later, he's gone.
Interesting.
The guy said, "I'm going to be in Washington in a couple days. I'm going to pitch your idea." And that's the last he heard of it.
That is so cool. And that's literally like what they did?
Never confirmed.
That's a good idea,
But he
though.
pitched that idea, and then 4 months later, he's gone.
That's amazing.
I don't get it. Maybe it's because I eat crayons. I don't know. Something about that's just not clicking in my brain. I watched it like 4 times and I don't understand this pitch that he was making to use sound to flush out Bin Laden. I don't know. I don't know. If you can explain that to me in simple terms, please do. Please do. On that note, I'm calling it for today. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and then come on back because we're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day. Look, I'm on this side again.
I scroll through static in a velvet robe, aliens, clones, and lizard pros. My Wi-Fi's haunted, or so they say. Echoes of TikToks never fade away. Is that a glitch or the face of fate? Clickbait dreams on a data plate. Digital ghosts and coffee toast. We laugh with fear. We love the most when stories break and logic bends. The weird begins but never ends. Dudes with theories, hats of foil. Government stealing microwave oil. Flat earth maps in a donut shape. And don't forget that moon is fake, she said. Watch this, then hit record. The rabbit hole's a motherboard. Digital ghosts and coffee toast. We sip the strange, we roast the host. Truth in memes or maybe lies. It's all just fun until it fries.
That lady just married a ghost pirate. No further questions.
Digital ghosts and coffee toast. Mrs. Collins knows the most. Laughs in code, lights up the screen. The strangest stuff you've ever seen.
Today's coffee talk. Always a wild ride.